Moose season. Hunters obsess over this brief period each fall with a fixation on filling the freezer with flesh. I've witnessed their level of intensity and commitment firsthand, and though I've seen many moose in the wild, I've never looked at one through that lens. On this trip, I want to get a taste of what that's like. But in this vast wilderness, who knows what I'll run into.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No way.
Didn't take long to get the first fish of the trip. Small pike. Thank you. It's always nice to get on the board right away, but fish are not what I'm hunting on this trip. I'm about a third of the way to my target destination for the night, and it's getting pretty choppy out here. It's supposed to have a pretty light tailwind today from the south, but it's turned to the west and it's building pretty significantly, so hopefully things don't get too rough here. Just came around this point into this sheltered bay, out of that cold wind. Very chilly day. It was -2 overnight and the high was 6 today, so nice to be here in this sheltered spot where I'm going to set up camp, and I'm well positioned for tomorrow. So here's a look at the route. Started down there on White Lake, and now I'm nice and sheltered here. Tomorrow I plan to head up the Shabotic River and Quincaga River, get into there, set up camp on this lake, come back out the following day, tour the north shore of White Lake, and then get into some smaller lakes here. That's the basis of the route there. Cheese and potato pierogies, delicious, and scotch. Cheers to the last canoe trip of the season. Significant trip anyway. So the purpose of this trip is to shoot a moose. Now, some guys, they like their 30-06 Winchesters or the Winchester Short Magnum in 300 caliber. These are good choices for a moose hunting rifle. These rifle calibers offer a large choice in bullet weights to suit the demands of the modern day hunter. Or so that's what I read from allaboutmoose.com this morning and took a screenshot of it before I lost signal. I don't know anything about guns, and what I want to do is shoot one with my camera. Every fall I seem to get some kind of magical encounter with a moose and get the privilege of filming it, which I love. It's a huge thrill for me every time. But I haven't got that this fall. Come close, heard a bull grunting in the bushes, but couldn't get eyes on it. Back with Keenan, Max, and Xander on that trip, but it hasn't happened yet. And it's almost into November, almost the end of canoe tripping season, so the moose hunt is on. Good solid tripod. This is a hybrid camera. I'm using the S5, which is a full frame camera to film right now, but it doesn't I just have a 20 to 60 millimeter lens on that. It's like my main vlogging lens. This is what I use for wildlife. It used to be my main camera. Now it's just telephoto. It's got 600 mils of range in here, which is amazing for the size of this. This more than does the job. Time for sunset. Amazing. Got to the launch today and I was kind of wondering if I should be out here. It was a pretty tough week for me, and yeah, just nature therapy starts to kick in. I feel whole again, and I'm really excited to go down the Shabbatic River, up the Shabbatic River and Quinquaga rivers tomorrow. Much like a real moose hunt, there's a very realistic chance of failure. It's no guarantee I'll run into a moose. I'm not calling them in or anything. Like, it's just really chance. Will I get lucky? What a morning. Thought I saw a dark shape over there, but like so many other dark shapes, it was just a rock. It's nice to be able to look down this like a scope and check it out though. How often do you see a dark shape and it's either a rock or a stump or a tree mat or a culvert or something in shadow, but always seems like it might be a moose. Some ducks out there. Or are those ducks? Oh no, I think those might be otters. Oh, that's a nice little reward. Very hard to tell from here. The way they dove under didn't remind me of ducks. I'm just looking at black specks on the screen. It's hard to tell. Be able to see better at home. Unusual looking ducks. Don't recognize them. Just about to get back on my way. I camped there near the mouth of the river. I head up the Shabbatic River. Shabbatic continues up this way. I'll branch off from the Quinquaga River into this lake, hopefully. It's white capping at the mouth of the bay there. The wind is supposed to be intense today, which is one reason why I needed to put in 20 kilometers yesterday to get here. And I'm glad I did, because it seems pretty nasty out there. Be a nice day to be on a smaller lake and rivers. Yeah, it's already extremely windy, so I'm really glad that I got into this bay yesterday. I was contemplating stopping because it was getting rough yesterday, but I'd probably be stuck there today. These are pretty remote wilderness rivers, and White Lake here is wilderness too. It's full of animals, moose, bear, wolves. Even a cougar was spotted not far from here this past winter. But I wouldn't call it remote. It's got a small community at the south end, a provincial park, and a smattering of cabins and cottages, so getting more remote into these rivers here. Yeah, that wind is pretty intense. I'm very glad to be on the river. And I was intent on adding a river to this trip because a lot of the moose that I've seen in nature have been on rivers. And rivers are like a highway for wildlife. Easy passage versus going through this thick bush. If you're familiar with moose, you may consider it stupid to go looking for them unarmed. But I think as long as you give respect, you're very, very likely to get respect from moose. I've seen tons and tons of moose in my life now, and I've never had an issue. One time, I think there was a bit of a misunderstanding I had with the moose. There were two females going upriver. They were coming up the river past where I was camped, and then they scented me and went into the bush and never saw them again. A bull in the rut, I believe, was probably following their scent, and it was coming upriver. It crossed the river to my side, went into the bush. I was hoping it was gone because these animals are absolute bulldozers, and they're full of testosterone in the rut, so they can be very dangerous. It came within 20 feet of me, just on the other side of this row of dogwood. There's a bull moose. Hey! 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 Get out of here! He's right there. He's right there. I'm gonna try and get in the canoe, I think. But there he goes, there he goes. That was the only thing I've ever had, and eventually it ran off. It just probably thought that I was a female moose. I've been told countless times that I give off the pheromones of a cow moose in the rut, so that bull can't be blamed. I'm too tempting. There's an obstacle ahead on the Shabbatic. Looks like a pretty decent rapid. The Quinquaga River also comes in right there, and that's where I'm going to start detouring over that way. It's just too windy to fish here. Hopefully on the way out it'll be better and I'll get a better chance here. Some interesting clouds behind me. It's supposed to be totally sunny today, so I don't know what that is. Kind of gnarly looking. I'm going to carry on and start up the Quinquaga River. Always nice to have someone to get to camp. Just heard sticks breaking. Might have just missed one. I heard what sounded like some pretty thick branches breaking here. This river is intersected by a Tickameg Lake, and I'm hoping to set up camp here if I can find something nice. The eagles just flew off in front of me. They're on the far shore now. Pretty much dead ahead. Pretty nasty paddling on this lake. Wind forecast today was 33 kilometers an hour, which I'm heading right into. Haven't seen anything hospitable to camp at yet. Check this out. Wind is intense. Pretty strong wind back here, but this is actually the least of it. Got a nice blockade of trees here. And nothing too big above. That's what really concerns me in high winds like this, is something big coming down. Some real sketchy ones back there, but perfect little spot here. Problem with a sandy site, it's hard to get water from shore without scooping up a ton of sand. So that worked well. Normally I'd make a canoe bridge or just go out in the canoe to deeper water, but that was a lot more fun. Well, the spot worked out great. Got a fire pit set up there with lots of firewood, shelter back in there. Canoe turned over so it doesn't go anywhere with these gusts of wind, but pretty sheltered. Shouldn't have any issue there. But right around the corner, wind is still whipping. And black bean burgers tonight. Wind is roaring. I don't know if they'll hear it properly, but I'm glad to be on this side of the point. Got a nice hot cup of tea too. It's pretty chilly today. Well, that's 2 days down. Not really even a sign of moose. No tracks on the shore. No droppings. Still got time though. Day 3, wind is still blowing pretty hard. It's cold, but beautiful. Scanning the shorelines for moose, none to be seen. So today I could go back the way I came yesterday, back to White Lake, spend the night there, or stay here, base camp, and explore the area, go a little further up the Quinquaga River if I can. I'm gonna stay, see if I can run into any moose. The moose potential should be as good here as anywhere else. Came around the west side of the lake, back onto the river now. Trying to keep my voice down. Feeling in the zone, like it almost starts to feel like a real hunt. First couple days are just whatever, you got tons of time left, but as that time evaporates, the sense of urgency rises. Oh, whoa! Oh my goodness! No way! Oh, hopefully I captured that in time. It flew over the trees. It was startled by me. Had a big pike in its, or a decent sized pike in its claws. It dropped it and it nearly hit me like a bomb. And that pike had some pep coming in. I'm looking for it now. Whoa. That was so weird. So weird. Amazing. What a massive bird. That cracks me up. That's one of the most bizarre experiences I've had with wildlife. No moose yet, but that just made up for it big time. Squeezing my way up this river. This is so peaceful. Yeah, whatever happens, this was a good day. End of the road. Can't squeak around this one, and I don't want to bushwhack around it. It's not worth it. Got far enough. There's a cut log there, and I have seen a couple of others. So it's interesting to see the remnants of past canoe trips, maybe, where people had a chainsaw and they were clearing it. Could also be snowmobilers using the river for travel, but yeah, not much travel, I imagine, here. Gans are chilling out right beside me. Back to the lake, and the wind is up again, so it was a great day to be on the river. And the bird life was great. Eagle, ruffed grouse, merganser, and some little red birds, which were either pine grosbeaks or crossbills. I'm not sure, didn't get close enough. There's that merganser again. Back to camp, and I've got a tiny problem to deal with, which could be a huge problem if I can't fix it out here. My pad deflated in the night. I punctured it at some point long ago. My patch gave out on a recent trip. Repatched it at home, tested it, it seemed to hold, but it did not. My hammock, the Amok Drommer, is by far my favorite way to sleep out here. It's just so comfortable. But it requires a pad, so I can't sleep in the drummer without it. So if I can't fix this, I'd have to bail. I roughed it up with sandpaper a bit. Hopefully the textile glue is going to stick to it. I'm going to try it again. If this doesn't work, I'm really out of luck. Like, it's going to be pretty chilly tonight, 2 degrees above freezing, I think. My sleeping pad comes with this, so these are patches for a larger one, which I would like to do on this repair, but I don't think I have enough of the adhesive. Fingers crossed. It's now sticking. There's hope. Leave that for 10 minutes, reapply, leave it for 10 minutes, reapply. 3 coats should make it airtight. Rifle needs a little calibration. Whoa. Recoil. Just a little hunter talk. I have to keep in mind that there are real moose hunters out here. I definitely don't want to get shot on a portage. So yeah, I'll wear this later on the trip on the portages if I get there. Seems like the pad's gonna hold. I really hope so. potato wedges with onion and garlic tonight, and some dill. That was a big pan of potatoes. Got a mug of tea to wash it down, and some scotch. Watching the sun go down. That's it for today. Just heard a bull call. There's a bull pretty close. I'm gonna have a look with the other camera. Just have to hope he's not on my side. There's a long beach around the corner. I hope he's not on it. Can't see him. My target's so close. Where are you? That's the Quinquagga River over there. I'm keeping my eye on that spot. That's kind of where it sounded like it came from. Hard to tell though with the wind up. No sign of him. Just a tease. It could be the closest I get. On my way for day 4, paddled across the lake back to the Quinquagga River. Today I carry on down the river back to White Lake. Kind of tour around the north end, whatever I feel like seeing and checking out. Working my way towards Spruce Bay here on the west end of White Lake. The repair on the pad did hold up, by the way. I gave it 3 coats of textile glue and even a 4th I had enough for, so should be all good. Two eagles here, probably fishing, and both of them flew off that direction, which is roughly where I was yesterday on the river. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they caught that pike here, and yeah. No bites. Made it back to White Lake, and the southwest wind is still up. It has not relented since I left the launch on day 1. But it looks manageable enough. Plow through it, hopefully get into some sheltered areas. I'm going to be working along the coastline here, which is the shoreline of White Lake Peatlands Provincial Nature Reserve. Beautifully calm wetland behind here. There's some soil blocking it away. Beavers are carving out channels to paddle through. This is great. Great, Jay. Checking out a creek. It's pretty windy on the lake, so taking a little break here. Just about to round the corner out of Shabatic Bay and back on the main lake. Beautiful spot for the night on this island. Wide view. I'll have sun in the morning, which would be nice. It's supposed to be around freezing. Fantastic. I've got my feet kicked up and I'm happy as a clam. Pretty inspiring view here from the hammock. This is amazing. Just gonna relax for the evening and got a little closer to my goal today, I guess. I heard a moose, a bull, which is what I would love to see, a bull. And maybe tomorrow I'll see one. Some birds flying off there. Lots of birds this morning. Woodpecker around here. A little bird was walking along the shoreline. It's been just breathtaking to watch the fog burn off. And I'm excited for today. this next leg of the trip. I'm going to finish the crossing in White Lake and then head up some long, very long, skinny lakes. And yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm still hopeful that it's day 5, but that a moose is going to happen. Back on my way. Feels so good to be paddling in calm conditions for the first time. I'm on the west side of the lake now, rounding the corner into Spruce Bay. Beautiful here in Spruce Bay, but no excitement yet. Coming around every corner stealthily, scanning the shorelines all the time, but no moose yet, no sign of them. Got my line in the water too, now that it's not so windy, but no bites. So, waiting for a bit of adrenaline here. Coming through the Agitomo Narrows now, leaving White Lake, and I'm heading up into this very skinny one, Ravine Lake. Got an incredible spot for the night. What a view. There is a fire pit, but it looks barely used. And what a privilege it is just to walk up to a place like this, paddle up to it, take it. You know, there's no reservations, no fees, pure fresh water, as much firewood as I could ask for. It really is such a privilege. Got camp set up here, firewood. I'm gonna get a meal on. Favorite camp so far. I love this. So cozy yet rugged, quiet, peaceful. Brought in my grill, which fits perfectly here. Del Palak for dinner. Finish off a great day. Spinach and lentils. Side of naan. And yeah, after this I'm just on lookout duty. Nice spot to look. The view here is incredible. If a moose walks down here, it was meant to be. Finish off the day. I haven't done camp popcorn in forever. That and some scotch. Cheers to a beautiful day. Coated the pot with just enough oil, and then once the oil's hot, put enough kernels just to coat the bottom. A little mix, get everything oiled up. That is good. Sunset's at 6:30 now. I hopped in the hammock after that because there's really nothing else to do. It's pretty chilly, but my pad seems to be losing air again. I think that repair it wasn't good enough. I think I need to actually repair it with fabric and at warmer temperatures because most adhesives will not cure that well in cold temperatures like when I had to apply it. I just refilled it, but this could be a long night. Sun's just breaking through to end a long night. The pad was enough. I could stretch it to 2 hours. It was a slow enough leak. But by the end of 2 hours, it was very floppy. Question is, now, do I end the trip today? There are 4 portages left, and then Aaron's going to pick me up at the end. And I was planning on doing 2 today and 2 tomorrow, and camping on this next lake, which looks beautiful. But then I'd have to sleep on the pad again. It's a tough call. I'll probably get to the lake and see how I feel. It's the last real canoe trip of the season, and I hate to rush it, and I need more time to accomplish the mission. I haven't seen a moose yet. There were some fish surfacing. You can see from camp. I can't see the fish, it's right in the sunlight. Yeah, just a little pike. And that single barbless hook came right out. Thank you. I'm at the top of the lake looking for the trail. My friend Gord Martin gave me his maps and put me onto this section of the route. I don't see the trail yet, but he said they're good and they're really snowmobile trails. I doubt many people other than Gord have paddled them in recent years. Spotted the trail. There is flagging tape. I just missed it. And it looks decent to start. A little grown in, but not bad. Taking the first load across. This trail is about 400 meters, I think. Not too bad. And I'll be making plenty of noise in case there are any hunters, so they know I'm here. Interesting. Empty. Looks like an old tree stand here, maybe? Not sure if this is the trail. It just seems to dissolve after that blowdown. Moose bones here. Yeah, I can't find any trail here, and I'm gonna have to get back in the canoe and hopefully find a different trail. Maybe this is just like a little trapline trail, but I'm not bushwhacking. I'm not gonna start bushwhacking if with 4 portages left. If they're all in this state, then I would probably go back the way I came. On Gord's map, it looked like the trail should have been a little farther to the north, but I didn't see anything. And then I ended up seeing those flags, so it looks like this might be it. And I hope so, because it'd be a long paddle back to my car on White Lake from here. This is more like it. Oh, it smells so beautiful here. Coming through with the second load. There's a worn footpath, so maybe it does see some summer use. Not just sleds. One down. What a beautiful pond. This would probably be great moose habitat in spring and summer. Oh my goodness. I think this view just made up my mind. I'll lose a few hours of sleep tonight and suck it up and camp here. This looks incredible. Wow. Seriously, that is stunning. Oh, there's the beaver. Just came out of his lodge. I don't think he knows I'm here, which is really weird. Can't hear me? Oh, he's gonna be startled. Hello. Not even a splash of the tail. Thank you. Probably another small pike. Almost at the south end of the lake. Yeah, quite small. Just gonna flip them off right here. Thank you. Grey Jay. Canada Jay. Stunning spot to camp here. Campsites just keep getting better on this trip. Really glad I'm staying the extra night. Got my tarp set up, and now I'm debating between the hammock or just laying on the moss and trying to put stuff on the ground. My canoe seat and life jacket have foam, so they have some insulation. I can lay on them on top of the moss. I'm leaning toward that, I think. Oh, I don't know. The hammock's comfortable for like an hour at a time before the... Lots of spiders here on Spider Lake. That's one point for the hammock. This isn't quite as flat as I hoped. I think I'm going to have to go with the hammock. It just means refilling it more. I was hoping to not have to refill it much, just be a little on the chilly side, but yeah, not gonna work. I love this hammock so much. It'd be the same problem in a tent anyway. It's just there's no insulation if it's flat, and they designed it so brilliantly. There's even a hole so you can access the valve if you wanted to inflate it or deflate it. Yeah, so it's not so bad. Get up, pump it up, go back to sleep, or try anyway. Here's the repair. 4 layers of that textile glue with a tenacious tape patch over top, which is not adhering well to the polyester. I think, yeah, it just needs a proper job with extra fabric. That's just not doing it. Look at this curious little guy. Camped across from another beaver lodge. There are at least 5 on this lake. A little hot chocolate appetizer before dinner. Just using the Trangia. There's not a fire pit here, so I'm not going to scar it. This beaver is so curious. Or just territorial. Hello! Whoa! Oh my goodness. Hello? Hello? Beavers are running non-stop patrols. What a night. Chilliest morning so far. Day 7 suddenly. It's crazy. Last chance for the moose. This coffee is going to be heaven. What a beautiful scene. Chilly as it is. Mushroom and spinach risotto for breakfast. Oh, that's good. All that's left today is a portage into a creek. Good little paddle on the creek, and then another portage into the final lake. Not too many opportunities left. Beavers were very active last night, patrolling the territory. Did not like me. Yeah, it was a long night, but totally worth it to spend the night here. It's supposed to be a bit above freezing last night, but evidently it was below. I had some ice in my water bottle, and it's still below freezing, I guess, because I refilled it and new ice has formed. In a couple of days, it's supposed to, yesterday it said it was going to be 16 centimeters of snow. Today it says 37 millimeters of rain. I mean, nasty. It's going to turn into the typical weather for this time of year, November. I lucked out with this forecast.
Oh my goodness. A wolf just there. There he is. There's a wolf right there. Oh my goodness. No way. Oh. 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 No way. No way. I never see wolves. I'm shaking. Not of fear. Excitement. That was amazing. I hope I caught something there. Oh my goodness. I heard a stirring there, turned around. A wolf. That's way better than a moose. Oh, I wish I could have had more time with it, but it scuttled off. That is amazing.
That's the first wolf I've ever seen on a backcountry trip. I've seen them on the highway. I've heard them on backcountry trips. I've never seen one. That was so great. And I checked the camera and I got it. I would have loved to get it with the telephoto, with the 600mm lens, but in a scenario like that, to get something is really lucky. So, whew, I was about to start saying how this trip was never about the moose. It was, some kind of salvage statement. It was about being out here, soaking up the last days of paddling season. Sometimes, this is unscripted, so sometimes the prince doesn't rescue the damsel in distress. Sometimes the prince gets decapitated for trying to rescue the damsel, and the damsel lives out her days in misery. This trip was turning out to be more of a Ned Stark story. And then nature provides. Wow. This lake is something special. On to the first portage into the creek. trying to come through here quietly. Feels moosey. Pretty breezy here on the creek, so I bet the lakes ahead are going to be pretty whipped up. On Gord's map, there's a short portage ahead into a small lake, which connects to a bigger lake, and that's where I plan to meet Aaron later today. Then the final portage into the last lake, and there's pretty decent headwind to send me off. We've got 5, 6, 7 kilometers on this lake. Just on the brink of what's possible to paddle against. Any stronger, I'd be waiting it out, attacking against it as best as I can. Finally made it back to the leeward end of the lake where Aaron's going to pick me up very shortly, and what a perfect end to the paddling season. It wasn't exactly a thrilling trip, but it was quietly beautiful. The birds and animals and beavers seemed to be soaking up this unseasonable forecast just as much as I was. My moose did not materialize, but I got to upgrade that for 2 unforgettable moments. The wolf this morning, of course, was the highlight, and to see it from my campsite on that beautiful lake was just the perfect moment. And then, secondly, a giant eagle threw a pike at me. That I don't think will ever happen again. That was amazing. So the trip ended perfectly, the season ended perfectly, and I wouldn't change a thing. I met Aaron at the south end of the lake and the trip wrapped up as planned. But it turns out this experience wasn't quite over, and my moose hunt came full circle just a week later. I know plenty of moose hunters, and often enough their season ends in disappointment. Sometimes they have a cow tag and only see bulls, they miss their shot, or they finally see their target just after the season ends. So it was fitting and ironic that I heard that bull on the trip, and then had the best moose encounter of my life right at the start of the next trip once my mock moose hunt was over. Thankfully there's no season or tags needed for a telephoto lens, and I was still able to take my shot. Aaron and I were driving down a bush road for our first hot tent trip of the season when we saw these 2 bulls jousting. It was a pretty tentative battle, maybe more so play or practice than anything else. But we were still elated to see it, and with the flurries coming down, it was the perfect scene. We just had the most amazing start to our trip, amazing experience. Neither of us have seen that before, right? I don't think either of us have seen
never.
2 bull moose in the rut, kind of bashing heads. It looked like it wasn't that intense. I mean, on TV we've seen like meteoric collisions, but they almost seemed like they were jousting a little bit, but who knows how long they've been at it.
Yeah, it was very cool. I wonder if maybe they were young. Their racks didn't seem as big as most bull moose, but so maybe they were just young and practicing, but
still big animals.
Huge animals.
That was incredible.
It was so cool to see. I've never seen that and never even imagined I would.
Yeah, yeah, that was just wonderful.
Yeah.
And just driving in on this Forester Road, fresh snow, no tire tracks, so we're the only ones down here.
We were scoping out some potential firewood and came across those too.
Yeah, an old clear cut here.
That was awesome.
Well, shucks. I didn't get my moose, but you know what? Sometimes it's just about being out here. Buddy, you don't have to try and salvage your story. You got a climax. It was even better than you hoped for. You are so right, Site Foreman John Terrio. You're always right. Thanks, Jimmy.